Hey guys, it's Sawyer. I just wanted to talk real quick about 2018's DC meets the Looney Tunes. Really fun crossover between the Looney Tunes characters and the DC characters. I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love it whenever two franchises that really don't have any business being compatible, and they get put together and they work. Like I love it. It's great. So essentially, the book has the graphic novel has like I don't know 6, 7 different stories in it, and each story has basically a more serious DC like take on it, where it has like artwork from DC Illustrated and stuff, and then you have a like secondary story that is done of the same characters. Normally, it's the same story with some small tweaks here and there, but in a couple of cases, it's like a completely different story with the same characters. But essentially, you get a second story that is done in a very cartoony 1950s or 40s style, like Looney Tunes, like very cartoony, lots more humor, much more lighthearted, and then you get another serious story for a different character, and then vice versa. So there's basically two stories for each team up or each pairing, which is really cool. Actually, I enjoy that. The first pairing is essentially the Legion of Superheroes meets Bugs Bunny. It's actually probably the funniest of the actual DC stories, because a lot of the DC stories try to make it much more modern, and they try to reinvent the Looney Tunes characters to feel like they fit within the actual DC universe as like serious characters for the most part. But this one doesn't really do that. This one is basically more of like a fun kind of like Silver Age homage to well, maybe not Silver Age, like Copper Age homage, because the artwork, you can tell it's modern, but it's very much an homage to like the '80s Legion of Superheroes run. I mean, Brainiac's got his full body like red jumpsuit thing. You know, that one is fun. That one's fun. There's a lot of self-aware humor in that one. There's a lot of jokes in that one. A lot of like making fun of old comic book kind of cliches. Like there's this running gag in that story where like there's an editor's note, little editor's note thing where they would explain stuff to you, and it's basically after halfway through the editor just gets really tired of like trying to piece together all this continuity, and he's like, screw it, I'm done. Like I love that joke. There's another good joke about with the fault bubbles, and everybody's kind of thinking about these big internal struggles, like how are they gonna live with themselves, like how are they gonna win over the girl they love, and then all of a sudden Timberwolf's in the background just thinking about steak or what he wants to eat for dinner. That's pretty good one. So that one's fun. That one's a pretty simple story, really. Then you get this Wonder Woman meets the Tasmanian Devil story, which is interesting. It's done very serious. The Tasmanian Devil is this big monstering thing that guards a labyrinth. And basically, Wonder Woman went there when she was a young woman trying to do these trials, and she was able to escape the Tasmanian Devil by tricking him or whatever. And now she needs his help to defeat Circus or something. It's an alright story, nothing special. I do like the artwork in that one though, and there's some good action. The third story is I'm going out of order, by the way. The first story is a Martian Manhunter meets Marvin the Martian story. I like that one. That one's really fun. It's very serious. It's played up very serious-like, but it's a good one. It's basically the Martian Manhunter like he gets into like an incident where he brings Marvin the Martian over to our world, and he thinks that he's trying to save Marvin, but actually Marvin put out like basically a Craigslist ad telepathically for any Martians that need him to destroy their Earth for them, because now he's on this mission to destroy like multiple Earths and multiple alternate universes. So Martian Manhunter has accidentally put this dude on our Earth to destroy us, so he has to fix the situation. It's a fun story, very fun. The next one is essentially it's got what is the? I keep forgetting about. Always forget about this one because it's my least favorite one. But there's a Lobo teams up with the Coyote and Runrunner. I don't like this one. I'm not really the biggest fan. I've never been a big fan of Lobo. His personality annoys me, so I just didn't really care for this one as much. Also, the story is overly complicated, and it has way too many things going on. Like it eventually gets really weird. Eventually, there's like the Green Lantern Corps comes in, and it's too much going on in this particular story. The next one is probably the last two are probably my favorites. I do like the Legion of Superheroes ones because it's very nostalgic for me because I used to love Legion of Superheroes. But the last two were probably the most well-written stories. The next one is a Jonah Hex and Yosemite Sam story. This one's great. It's got some very serious drawn style, very gritty, lots of violence. All the good stuff you like from Jonah Hex. And this one's essentially Jonah gets hired as a bodyguard for to protect Yosemite Sam while he's trying to claim this gold that he's got, and everybody's trying to kill him. It also involves a circus of freaks, which includes a foghorn leghorn that is a cage fighter. This is just such a fun story. I really like this one. Then the last story is probably the best one actually, probably the best written one. It's the Emmer Fudd versus Batman. It's the one that you see on the title, like the cover of the book. This one's really, really, really good. It starts off. It's got a very noir style storytelling to it. Like it's a lot of like narration coming from Emmer Fudd. His girl that he loves was just murdered. She's like this kind of small time actress, and she was killed. And he has reason to believe that this kind of low life hired gun, Buzz Bunny, did it because there was a bloody carrot left at the crime scene. So he goes to this shitty little dive bar, called Porky's. Get it, Porky, because there's a kind of a fat bald guy named Porky that's running it. Yes, all the Looney Tunes characters in this particular story are reimagined as humans, which is actually kind of creepy in some cases, but also pretty cool in others. Because Buzz Bunny, he's just creepy. He's like this little bucktooth, just a little weasel, low life criminal. And essentially, there's a lot of great dialogue in this one. You get a really good speech with like a good conversation between Emmer Fudd and Buzz, because Emmer Fudd's basically giving him his last meal, letting him finish his carrot juice before he kills him, and it's just a really fun conversation. There's a lot of great narration here. It just feels very much like an old 40s noir, murder revenge movie, or crime murder mystery thing. Eventually, Batman is kind of incorporated into the story in a very cool way. I really like how they actually throw him into the main story. Batman and Emmer Fudd get this great fight. I never thought I would say this, but I love that fight between those two. It's very well done. It's drawn very dynamic and awesome. It really showcases, like, they really play up Emmer Fudd as being this kind of like, he's not like as tough as Batman by any means, but they play him up as being a clever, resourceful hunter. And I really like that. Like, he may not be like a very wise person. He's not a very articulated speaker, but he's very like clever when it comes to his element. And I do enjoy that aspect that they kind of bring to the character. He's got this great monologue about you growing up, you hunt what you eat what you hunt. When it's rabbit season, you eat rabbit. When it's duck season, you eat duck. It's just a lot of fun stuff in this one. So yeah, that's my review for DC meets Looney Tunes. If you like kind of crazy combinations, if you like Looney Tunes and DC, give it a shot. There's some really fun, unique stories in this book. So thank you guys for watching.